You know what's funny? I never realized, but it's obvious that not even just his money, because you know money doesn't always make you powerful.
Right.
It's your connections that
Right.
makes you powerful. So it's obvious that he is more connected than I ever thought that he could ever be. Like, he literally has been making moves and being able to fly under the radar and do all of these allegedly despicable things to people, just and do it consistently and just get away with it for years and years and years at a time. It's wild to me. Hey femmes, and welcome back to another episode of Femininity by Rachel V. I am your host, Rachel V, and here we are with Stephanie, our co-host.
Hi, fams. And we have Cookie, special guest, for emotional support.
Cookie
today.
gets all the love, Cookie
Yes.
is a mess. So with everything that's going on in the news today, lately, we cannot ignore the topic of P. Diddy.
Yes.
I normally do not like talking about celebrities, but we do have to touch on it. It's awfully disturbing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we have to cover it.
Yeah, I think it's an example of money being put into power and what people will go along with, where they'll look the other way, where there won't be boundaries, and how people will keep secrets in the dark as long as it works for them. But then the second that the tables get flipped, it's interesting. There's also been things in the news about all the people that might have been tipped off and started unfollowing him within 24 hours before the raid.
Yeah. I wonder, what does that do, though? Unfollowing.
It's so that they're disassociating. But and the example is Kim Kardashian, okay?
Right.
So
Messy boobs.
they're saying that she unfollowed him within 24 hours before the raid went down. And she is doing good work, I think, in for those wrongly incarcerated or unfairly, for their crimes. But that does lead one to believe that she might know something before.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting that she didn't when Cassie first came out with everything. And then before the raid, that was where the limit was for her, I guess.
I just think, I just want to say this. She does the most backwards stuff.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I would have unfollowed with the Cassie situation.
100%.
After reading all of those documents.
100%.
These documents are basically it's true. Like, it's coming from Cassie's mouth. Like, reading all of those horrible things that she was put through in that relationship. And I would have.
The man settled in the quickest time for the largest amount.
Absolutely. Kim does backwards things. So, yeah. It's crazy how if you want to take a stance on his house getting raided, but you don't take a stance on him abusing someone that he was with for years.
Yeah.
And supposedly loved and cared for. I mean, I don't know.
But I think there's a lot more to come.
Mm-hmm.
And when you kind of made me go down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
When?
Because when the raid happened, immediately you and I are DMing back and forth. And I said to you, I am so shocked. How was Homeland Security in his house and he's not arrested? And you said, because there's someone bigger that they're going for.
Absolutely. It's not him. They are doing other things. So it's other things to it. You don't just get to walk around free. Like, it's something that sparked it for them to come and do that raid. Like, I remember that Monday, I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours trying to get home.
Right.
Yeah, because he lives in Star Island. So I was coming from
No way.
Yeah, I was coming from, the Brickell area, whatever. And it took me 2 hours. I was like, what is going on? Why is there all this traffic? But
lo and behold.
Yeah, we don't have to go into the details of everything that I heard. But I think just men in power.
Yeah.
They are really able to take advantage of women.
Not
even just women. Just people that they hire and they have people around them that they can sense a need from?
Well, there are the phrases, money talks, and then people are definitely double backing over some of his lyrics right now.
Diddy's?
Yes, because some of them are crazy.
What Diddy lyrics?
Well, there's some, I've just seen some really funny memes of some gay guys like dancing to some of his songs where then he flips talking about men. And so they're like kind of an R. Kelly thing, like in plain sight.
Do you care that he's gay?
No,
He's
I don't at all.
supposedly-
If those things are not that, first of all, someone being gay is not offending or doing anything. That is the least of anything. It's the abuse or the abuse of power or forcing yourself on someone. All of that is the issue. And quite frankly, if you aren't comfortable with everyone knowing your business or you've built yourself up and you feel like that would compromise perhaps your safety or your career or whatever, those choices are your own.
Absolutely.
But I think that he used his money as a power play to then put people in really uncompromised positions.
You know what's funny? I never realized, but it's obvious that not even just his money, because you know money doesn't always make you powerful.
Right.
It's your connections that
Right.
makes you powerful. So it's obvious that he is more connected than I ever thought that he could ever be. Like, he literally has been making moves and being able to fly under the radar and do all of these allegedly despicable things to people, just and do it consistently and just get away with it for years and years and years at a time. It's wild to me.
It's the force and safety aspect of it as well. And I guess so there's more homework that I want to do to dig down the hole, but apparently something just got dropped timely with J-Lo. Have you seen this?
I've seen it, but I haven't been paying attention.
Right. So I've just been seeing the clips, and there's a lot of reference to the night that I didn't realize that she was arrested as well.
Yeah.
But I knew that he was brought into custody because he had an unregistered gun. I didn't realize that she was arrested at that time as well. I knew that that was what ended their relationship, but it was so abrupt. But more things have come out, and I think it's because some of his bodyguards have been speaking about the things that he was doing while he was with her.
Sis got out of there. Sis got out of there, and she should have gotten out of there. I didn't see that article about J-Lo, but I did see a couple of weeks ago a woman on TikTok said that she came up and said she was the person that got shot. And
yes, in the face, and she's waiting for it. She's been saying this for a while,
and
but
this woman should get everything, every dollar, every penny, every cent she deserves.
She said she made eye contact with him.
Yeah, and he has been harassing her for years.
But also, look at this, J-Lo. She's beautiful. She's an icon. She doesn't have the best dating rap.
No, she doesn't.
And she's never really gotten out of anything quickly. Even when she eventually now just pulled the plug with the A-Rod thing, they went for a very long time, and they went back and forth several times.
Yeah.
She has never exited a relationship so quickly than she did with Diddy. And that means that there was other force and there were other things way beyond
that she
safety.
Knew, he is a monster.
Yeah. And sadly, I think you were right that there's more to come. And I hope to God for women's safety, for children's safety, for us as a society to not put someone up on a pedestal and ignore things in pop culture and entertainment, in sports.
Yeah.
I think that just holding people accountable for the things that they do, regardless of the money or the power or what they can do for you, is really important to take from this.
Yeah.
But it's there's going to be more to come.
It's crazy because just look at the situation with Young Miami, right?
Right.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I think she's so cute. She's so beautiful. She's like outspoken and her little accent.
Yeah.
And, you know, she just got a little, she got a little twang with her, you know. But just looking at how she was going so hard to have that validation from him
Yeah.
and everyone to know like this is my guy. And now it's like stand by him at this point, because what else you gonna do? It's like her career is really, from the looks of things.
Yeah, I'm
over.
scared for her, to be honest, and I do feel for her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was pretty embarrassing, but that she put a bold face on when he got someone else pregnant.
Yeah.
And she tried to act or take the posture of, which I think now hasn't aged well, that we're in an open relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why people are looping her in as being a major accomplice or being okay with all these things.
Being okay. You had to be okay with a lot of things, because we can see that whoever is close with Diddy at that time in his life, he doesn't hide anything from people.
But don't you think that there are victims, and maybe she's considered a victim as well, but there are victims that when they're in the storm, that things are just masked so much and they don't really understand what's going on?
I don't think she was a victim.
Okay.
I like her.
Yeah.
Victim? She wasn't a victim. I think she knew what she was getting into. I think it was unfolding, and she was seeing, and she was just like, okay, I'm here for a reason. I'm here to get my career extended. And I'm here to get this money. I'm here to get these bags. I'm here to get this fame. I'm here to get this popularity. I think she knew.
So it was business for her.
Yeah, it was business for her. And unfortunately, she chose the wrong business partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I really feel bad for her, because she has a kid, and, she has to figure this thing out. And unfortunately, in the entertainment industry, it's hard once you fall to come back up.
I think it's also, I'm just going to say, I think it's harder for women.
Yeah.
And people love to blame
I don't know
women
what she's going to do.
And hold them accountable. Men can somehow rebound from some of these things. Not anything at this degree, but just in general, for whatever reason, society will give men more of a pass, or... Well, we did for so long. People. There were things in the streets about him. So outside of Young Miami, there are so many people, artists, politicians that have been heavily affiliated with him, associated with him, profited from him.
Right.
What responsibility?
Worked with him.
Yeah. Or boasted about him. We're very public on their affinity for him. What responsibility do you think they have to make a statement or be public and address this?
I don't think that anybody is going to feel like they need to make a statement. I think that Hollywood knows exactly what Hollywood knows. And this has been going on for a very, very long time. And they have been all protecting each other for a very, very long time.
So I think what's interesting is that the Cassie lawsuit came out, and that was huge. But if you notice, the rumblings actually started with the men. Cat Williams, the bodyguard.
Well, the bodyguard first.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. So men kind of got fed up and tipped this off. Maybe they knew this case was coming. I'm shocked by the bodyguard, by the way. I'm shocked that he's still breathing and living.
Yeah, I am too.
Really?
Yeah,
that
seriously.
one just shocked completely. I guess it would be too obvious, but he is talking a lot.
He is talking a hell of a lot. He is saying everything. He's just...
But I could understand someone being completely enamored with Diddy. He seems like he seems like he's been 9 different people, but that there have been moments in his career where he's been very charming, which some of these men in power have noted to be. And that if he approached someone, hey, you want to be on my song, or hey, I want to sign you, or hey, this, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are completely in the mix.
I remember seeing Diddy in action for the very first time when I was watching Danny Kane.
Yes.
The making of Danny Kane. I remember saying to myself, he is a mean motherfucker.
Well, you realize, so she just went on podcast, the No Jumper podcast, that famous podcast.
Okay.
And
because they dated, didn't they? Or they were
I don't know. Basically, she
were.
went public. Okay, so she's a smart woman.
Okay.
She's made some different Aubrey O'Day.
Aubrey. Mm-hmm.
So Aubrey actually so what kind of where she said she saw something coming and she thought that it was the Cassie thing is that they all got anyone that was associated with his record label got the papers that were like, we're gonna reward you for what you've
so they were gonna give them their rights to their songs or something,
but they weren't gonna make any residuals. So they were gonna make off of these streamings. They were gonna make pennies on something that they should have made millions.
Yeah,
and so
in that era, they should have made millions.
But then the trade-off was that they had to sign a backwards NDA that said that they couldn't speak negatively on any experience or anything that they had gone through in the past. Right. And she hustled to then reach out to everyone that was in the same camp as her. Do not sign.
Don't sign. Do not sign. Be able to have your voice. Be able to speak on him, because I even know that he had reached out. I don't even know if I can say names, but I know that he was going to give Mace back his royalties too.
He's talking now too.
Yeah, because Mace was like,
yeah,
I want to talk.
Yes.
Nope. I think he paid him, and then he gave him the money back and was like, no.
He just was quoted this week that he said reparation days are coming soon.
Honey, this is getting ready to get nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Danity Kane thing, I think, is really, really telling. I think it's very telling also. She pointed out that's the only reality TV show, those two, The Making of the Band and the Danity Kane. So those shows were the only ones on MTV that have not been on rerun.
They haven't.
They were completely shelved. Look at Jersey Shore, Real World, like every once in a while they recircle and go back. But she has pointed out, why do you think that, so Aubrey O'Day has pointed out, why do you think they've been shelved? It's because some of his behavior that he did early 2000s, etc., could not be released on TV again, because people would be looking at it through a different lens.
Yeah. Oh, like saying, like recalling.
Yes. Even when you look at old interviews, right, of Larry King with Britney Spears or Pamela Anderson or things like the Barbara Walters doing interviews from those early 2000s era, and we're just in shock that people were able to ask those questions, ask about their virginity, ask about their chest, ask about these things that just should not, that are never asked of men. And so it's just he is a man in power with money and was able to sweep it from the archives, where paying a check to the MTV wouldn't rerun them.
Maybe in my late 20s when that show came out, and I was like, what in the hell? I could never. I would have been gave up, like, because he couldn't have talked to me like that.
Even also, but it was the warped abuse of, like even with the guys from Making the Band, making them walk. Remember, they had to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge or something.
Wild. He was putting them through a lot of pressure. And now I think back on it, like,
remember who's the choreographer that he freaked out on? Do you know that woman? Yeah.
Yeah. That was
I think she came forward recently, or she
did?
she put
we gotta
something
figure
out
out her
that,
name.
Yeah.
We gotta find out what her name is.
I feel like it was Dawn. No, maybe that was another Danny.
That was
Kane member.
That was a member.
But she was in cahoots with him. I mean, there are a few people that I know that have been in business with him, and they're no longer in the country.
Really? Scared? No longer in the country?
I'm not sure, because they just don't talk.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's a monster.
But I think that a lot of people are just, so on the No Jumper podcast, she said something like, would you be scared if you were in my position? She said that she has over 500 pictures of plates of cars that have followed her, or she'll be going to the grocery store and suddenly she just will not feel right and she'll hook a Yui. And
she's had 500?
500 pictures of plates that she's documented.
Oh my God.
And she said that that's why she did the pandemic in Bali. Like she has gotten off the radar, right? Yes. And so she said, wouldn't you be scared if you were me? And he said, quite frankly, I'm afraid to be doing this podcast. Really?
She be talking that much stuff.
Exactly. But she's, I I mean, her name has been, it's funny for someone that has been off the grid for so long. When she circles back, she is in the mix too much. Like the Donald Trump Jr. thing, that was too much. Then she speaks a lot on this. And I get where her passion comes from and feeling like others are being silenced and not speaking about it.
With her, like, you go through this thing with Diddy. Let's just play the devil's advocate here, right?
Yeah.
You go through this thing with Diddy, and he's disgusting.
Right.
But then you go and mess with Donald Trump, too?
And not only that, but so again, playing devil's advocate, I think that in these last few weeks that there's a lot of power behind the things that she's been saying and the claims that she's been making and the evidence that she's come forward with. And then yesterday I saw she dropped some like very scantily bondage edited. She's gotten a lot of heat for her extreme editing.
I'm just trying to.
And it's like you have such a power play in this moment to be this strong woman, and then you come across, it was like this bondage photo that would, it's just then it's still for a check then.
It seems to me that Aubrey, I don't want to be judgy, because I don't know where her life is like and what her background is and how much money she probably need to cover her bills or whatever, 100%. Right? Because we don't know, but she aligns herself with this kind of activity to me.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, she's been on more reality TV shows.
I mean, she says I don't know if this is the same podcast, but one podcast I watched her and she was describing a party that she went to. Sound like one of Diddy parties. It wasn't Diddy party, but it sounds like on the lines of what Diddy party was. And I was just listening to her talk, and I was just like, well, what was wrong with what Diddy was doing?
Right. No, like, she does sound like she's been a confused soul.
Yeah, it's like, you're not a saint.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think is also to the point on, do you have a responsibility to come forward? I think that some of the silence that is happening right now is because people are so freaking nervous about what else is going to come out or where they were at the time.
Let me tell you something. A lot of people was partying with Diddy.
Yeah. So everyone wanted to be at that white party.
Everybody was at the party.
And not only that, but didn't his parties then, it used to be, it was in Miami, and then wasn't it in the Hamptons?
Yes, it was. I wanted to go to the one that was in the Hamptons.
Exactly.
I definitely wanted to go to the ones that was in the Hamptons. I don't know if they were the same party.
Yeah.
That these other ones were, but I definitely wanted to attend the one. The white party in the Hamptons was legendary. It was like a legendary thing.
And I think even Michael Rubin, who has kind of taken over. But it is literally, it's become bigger than New Year's. It's the biggest party of the year.
Yeah, it is. That all white party is definitely a monumental thing for the year.
Yeah. I mean, when this all dropped, the first thing that happened is all the brands dropped him, right? Mm-hmm. And we were talking before, like, what now happens with his music? Mm-hmm. Does that have to all get shelved?
And he got some really good music. Like, the way he picks the artist one, like that one with Justin Bieber.
I know.
Like, so good. Like, I'm going to listen to the artist. And it's like R. Kelly too. Like that was my childhood.
I know
that those songs, that music, Marvin Gaye, all of these things. I just feel like the industry in itself is a messed up place.
Yeah,
with talented people.
It is. I will say that I was a huge R. Kelly fan for music, and I cannot listen. It changed the memories because now it just. I can't.
And I have said to myself, and I have to say that music, I've listened to R. Kelly since I was 14. So I can only imagine what them girls is going through. My mother didn't let me go outside.
Right.
But I could have been a victim, you know what I mean? Like easily, like, because like, we all thought R. Kelly was like beautiful. Like he really was. Like,
even if you look at so the documentaries are super powerful. Glad that people came forward.
I am too.
It is crazy when you look back. That man was on trial for so long, and also very notable that man was first on trial and still singing the national anthem at the Olympics, which is really crazy. But the amount of women that were outside of the courtroom rooting on his behalf is scary.
It really is. But they felt like they had like
place
with him.
But I think the thing to take from all of this, with all of these different situations, is we attach childhood memories to famous athletes, to superstars, and we remember the feeling that we got from hearing this music in this memory at your first prom, or we attach, I was watching this Super Bowl when X and Y happened, and so we allow these superstars, it just is interesting, the cognitive habits on where we shelve certain things or ignore certain things in an effort to still hold on to those memories that we attach positive feelings with.
But even just like music is so different to me because it's the rhythms.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's the rhythms, it's the beats, it's all of those things. So, Steph, in conclusion, are we still going to listen to the music?
Oh, for me, it's going to be how much more unfolds. So right now, I'm not readjusting my iPad fully, but yeah, for me, I'm different on the R. Kelly music. I just cannot listen to it and have it register different memories. I just see those girls' faces, and so it's just a no for me there. But,
got you.
But I will say that I think Diddy is different, and the fact that he also is tied to so many other artists.
Yeah, I feel like if we took that stance, we will be taking that stance with a lot of people.
I know.
All right. Well, femmes, thank you so much for being here for another episode of Femininity by Rachel V. I am your host, Rachel V, and Stephanie is your co-host. Until the next time, please make sure you comment,
subscribe.
Please comment. We need those.
Yes.
Bye, girls.